Hi everyone! In this video, we'll try to find the answer to the question 7 Testing Principles Explanation, Principle 4. Defects cluster together. We are going to check ISTQB theory and talk in human language after. Let's begin. Let's start with the ISTQB explanation. Currently, ISTQB is the leading global certification scheme in the field of software testing. And when we'll talk formally, we'll use their syllabus and the glossary as references. A link to the ISTQB website will be provided in the materials for the video. According to the ISTQB, there are 7 testing principles, and one of them is defects cluster together. According to it, a small number of modules usually contains most of the defects discovered during pre-release testing, or is responsible for most of the operational failures. You can stop the video and read the rest of it on your own. As usual with ISTQB, a lot of terms which are hard to understand in one sentence. So let's translate it into human language. We suggest this explanation. Defect cluster together means that defects like to group, defects like parties. If you found a bug in one area, search for another one. You have 80% chance to find one more in the same area, and only 20% of finding a defect in the next area, unless the next area is another defects cluster. It sounds better, but still hard to understand. Instead of continuing to talk theoretically, let's go to the example. Let's say we have our typical website. The website consists of 4 pages: product, cart, order, and contact. And currently we are on the cart page. The user wants to buy jeans. The jeans are very cool, so the user wants to buy 2 pairs. User clicks on the arrow, and the quantity changes from 1 to 2. But the price remains the same. It's still $20. This means user will be able to buy as many jeans as they want just for $10. It is a bug. And its summary sounds like this. On the cart page, the price is not updated when the quality of the product is changed. Users will never complain about it, but it is a bug. And because of it, we need to run regression testing. Once you finish, you can see that you found that there is only 1 defect on the product page, 10 defects on the cart page, 2 defects on the order page, and 0 defects on the contact page. That was a productive regression testing session. You found a lot of bugs. And you have 1 more day for regression testing. You need to select which areas to test better. As a tester who doesn't know the defects cluster together principle, you might think, I found a lot of bugs on the cart page, and only a few bugs on other pages. Today I will test product, order, and contact pages all day and find more defects. But the result will be the opposite. On the product page, you have found 1 more minor bug. You didn't test the cart page, so the number remains the same. You spent half of the day on the order page and haven't found any bugs. And the contact page has no logic, just a text with the phone number and the address. So you haven't found any bugs at all there. You spent an entire day and found only 1 bug, all because you didn't know the 4th principle. But if you know the principle defect cluster together, the picture will be different. You'll spend 6 hours more on testing the cart page functionality and 2 hours on other pages. So what will happen in this case? Result on the other pages will remain the same. You found only 1 bug on the product page, but on the cart page you found another 10 bugs. Okay, we agree 10 is too much, let's say 5. 5 more bugs on the cart page. I just wanted to emphasize how great the defect clustering principle is. Was too much excited. Okay, the final word is 5, 15 bucks in total on the cart page only. So you spend the same amount of time, 8 hours. But you found 5 more bucks just because you knew the principle, defects cluster together. Okay, I think it is a good example. Let's talk theoretically now. So one of the questions you might have is, why it's happening? To be honest, it's not critical to know why, enough to know that it is true. but we as testers are mostly the curious kind, so we'll provide a couple of reasons. Component complexity. The card page functionality is much more complex than the contact page. Frequent modifications. Yesterday, the card was for the registered users only. This release should work for the guest users as well. This change may sound logical and simple, but in reality, it leads to totally new implementations, like using browser cache and code crunches. External dependencies. The order page can have integrations with payment systems, map systems for delivery addresses, and SMS email systems for confirming your identity. So in reality, most of the bugs would be found on that page, not the card page. Code quality. Less qualified developers wrote the card page, or it can be the old code which was fine 2 years ago but works badly with the new technologies. These and many others lead to defect clusters, groups, and parties. As we said, knowing the reasons is good, but more important is to know what exactly it gives us. Principle 4, defects clustered together, works closely with two other principles of testing. Principle 1. Testing shows the presence of defects, not their absence. This emphasizes that a typical objective of testing is to find defects. And the second principle, exhaustive testing is impossible. The number of possible test cases is either infinite or close to infinite, so we must select a subset of test cases from it. And Principle 4 works efficiently with those two principles. So knowing this principle helps us to find more bugs within a limited period of time. Not knowing, or knowing and ignoring, it leads to finding less bugs at the same period of time. Same as we illustrated in our example of the regression testing of the website, where most of the bugs were found on the card page. That's all what we wanted to share about the Principle 4, defects clustered together. You can stop the video and read the ISTQB definition in our translation into the human language. And that's our answer to the question 7 Testing Principles Explanation, Principle 4, defects clustered together.